Nobody in your practice leaked anything. Under HIPAA, that may not be the defense you think it is. Your staff have browsers. The writing in front of them, recall letters, rescheduling notes, consult summaries, is exactly what a language model is good at. And nobody has audited which tools that writing is happening in. Most coverage of this gets the structure backwards. It treats consumer AI as a breach risk, something that only becomes a problem if information escapes. HIPAA does not work that way. 45 CFR 164.502 permits a covered entity to disclose protected health information to a business associate only where it has satisfactory assurance documented through a written contract. The Office for Civil Rights closes the escape hatch in its cloud computing guidance. Without entering into a BAA with the provider, the covered entity is in violation of the HIPAA rules. Encryption does not exempt anyone either. OCR states that a provider meets the definition of a business associate even when it cannot view the data because it is encrypted. Nothing has to leak. The paste itself is the event. Coverage is also granted per product, not per vendor. OpenAI publishes its own list of HIPAA-eligible products. ChatGPT Free plus Pro, Team and Business appear nowhere on it. OpenAI's help documentation states that only enterprise or edu customers with a sales-managed account are eligible for a BAA, and that no BAA is offered for ChatGPT Business. So on ordinary paid seats, the tool cannot be brought into compliance by policy, by training, or by good intentions. There is no agreement available to sign. There are 18 identifier categories in the Safe Harbor standard, and for an aesthetic practice, one of them matters more than the rest. Category Q is full-face photographic images. For a med spa or a cosmetic surgery practice, before and after photography is not an edge case. It is the marketing department's primary asset. The federal civil penalty schedule was adjusted in January 2026. The bottom tier, for a practice that did not know and would not have known with reasonable diligence, runs $145 to $73,011 per violation. Willful neglect left uncorrected starts at $73,011 against an annual cap of $2.19 million. The compliant path has three parts. A BAA covered surface, minimum necessary, so that if a de-identified summary answers the question, the identified record never enters the prompt. And audit controls, because a browser tab produces no log you can hand an investigator. When you run that inventory, the finding is usually not malice. It is a coordinator being efficient inside a boundary nobody drew for her. A policy says PHI should not leak. An architecture makes it unable to. Cold math, warm front desk. That tool inventory is yours to run, and it is a separate exercise from what we do. What we measure is the intake side. We call your main line after hours, document exactly what happens to the caller, and send back the math at your volume. That is the intake leak audit at thethinkingrobot.com, or hear one for yourself. Rosie is our AI voice agent, not a person, at 720-776-1664.